Welcome. Good afternoon. My name is Kristen Peekole. I'm the Illinois Library Association staff liaison for our Small and Rural Libraries Forum. This is a community that is really embracing networking and community, asking questions, talking to each other as a matter of getting resources and kind of crowdsourcing the kind of issues and questions that they deal with on a regular basis. Today we are with Vicki Borland of the ARC of Illinois to talk about services for the disabled and the resources that we have available for them, excuse me. And so this is a recorded session. It is very casual. Feel free to have your camera on, feel free to have your microphone on. Vicki looks forward to asking questions of you and talking about your library environments and how her organization can support your services. So I will pass it over to Vicki and you can share more and feel free to go ahead and get started.
Thank you. So before we start, now that I know that I can ask you all questions, I was wanting to know who knows, oops, and here I started sharing too early. I was wanting to know who all knows about your disability services, if a lot of you are very familiar with that in your area. I don't want to go into too much detail if I'll bore you all.
I suppose it depends on really what you mean by disability resources.
Yeah.
I'm in Monticello and we have the center, but that's I don't even know what you call the center. They provide services for adults with developmental delays. Other than that, that's all I'm aware of in my area.
Okay. Well, then maybe I won't bore you. And I can't say that I know everything about what we have in the state of Illinois. I started at the ARC about 6 months ago. So a little bit about me. I'm Vicki Borland, and I am a mother of a 21-year-old son and a 20-year-old daughter who has a rare genetic disorder, autism, and epilepsy. So I have lived the life. And I might sound like a salesperson sometimes when talking about the ARC to you all, but it's because I wish I would have known about this organization many years ago. I did not, but we're amazing. And I love working here because we're a not-for-profit. And we're here just to help people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And here we are. We're a community-based organization, and we advocate for the IDD community. We started around the same time as the ARC of the United States in 1950, believe it or not. It was started by a mom who needed some help with her kids. And we deal with all kinds of diagnoses. And there are 650 chapters nationwide, as you can see. Our company is very small. Like I said, we're a not-for-profit. We only have 20 employees, and 11 of those are parents and siblings of somebody with a disability. We also have self-advocates who work for us. And then there are the long-term professionals who are there for the money, of course, with the not-for-profit, right? And here is where we are. Our office is near Chicago in Mokina, and I am down here in Madison County. I live in Troy, which is near St. Louis. So I am Southern Illinois. And I'm going to talk to you about our programs. I realized just now I did not take off the consumer stipend program. I apologize. We don't have that anymore. We lost our funding. So that was really nice. It paid for families to go to conferences, etc. Hopefully we'll get it back sometime.
Vicki, I just want to interrupt you for a second. We can't see your slides.
Oh my goodness. I forgot to share.
That's good. We're early into the program. I was like, I think I'm missing something.
You didn't miss much. So you just see my lovely face.
There we go.
Is that better? Here we go.
And then hit present.
From beginning, there we go. Is that
Okay,
better?
great.
Okay. I just learned PowerPoint 2 months ago, so. Okay, so this talks about what I was just saying. We're a community-based organization, and this is just a little bit of background about the ARC. And that's the map and I pointed out where I live is Madison County down here. So here are programs, and yeah, the consumer stipend program is the one I just pulled this up, and I'm like, whoops, should have deleted that. So I work for the Illinois Lifespan part of the ARC, and we provide resources. So by phone and email and through the internet, we have a helpline that's staffed 5 days a week. And we're basically like the primary care doctor. We know a lot of information, but we don't know everything. So what I like about working for this department is that we have beehive a lot. If I get a call like today, I did not know how to help this gentleman. And so I have colleagues that I can get a hold of. They have so many contacts throughout the state that they can usually find an answer, even if it's not for a disability related question. We get calls about homelessness and immigration and stuff too. So, and here are some of the questions we get on our call list. Guardianship. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, but when a person with a disability turns 18, you all, if you have children, know you can't just call and make their appointments for them. So we help people with the guardianship process, how to get through it, who to go to, whether they want to do that or not. And the PUNS list, has anybody heard of the PUNS list at all on here? Oh, I see the chat. Here we go. Doesn't sound like it.
I
Okay.
have, because I was in education.
Oh, well, there you go. So the PUNS list, you might be able to explain it better than I can, but it's a waiting list for people with disabilities to get funding. So I'll go into it more with the LIGUS consent decree, but we get a lot of those questions. Home-based options, there is funding that a lot of people don't know about. If you have an adult child with IDD, you can get paid to be their personal assistants through the state if your child qualifies for Medicaid and SSI. So we help people find that out, which every little bit helps. IEP questions we get a lot. And if you used to work in education system, then you know that it's hard for parents to really know what's going on sometimes. So we connect them to the organizations who can help them learn the law and educate themselves about IEPs. And recently diagnosed, we get that sometimes, not very much, but I know when my daughter was diagnosed, I was handed a paper with everything that was wrong with her, and I didn't know where to go. So like I said, I wish I would have known about the ARC a lot sooner. And not let me forward. Here we go. We also offer webinars in English and Spanish, and they're the second Tuesday of every month. And we do it with disabilities in mind, so they're centered towards the family. And this is our website. You can sign up for updates and get more things in your email folder. But we do send a lot of information about the disability community and advocacy and legislation that in regards to all of that. So it is kind of nice to get those newsletters. And here is our section of the website. You can search for resources by county. And if you don't know what to type in, you can do a search. You can get on our resource toolbox. And let's say you have an adult child with IDD, but you don't know what PUNS is or anything. You click on that and it will give you everything you might need to know. Our next program is the Family to Family Health Information Center. And this is run by a mom named Susan Agrawal, and she is amazing. She had a child with special health care needs. And so she has lived this system that is very hard to navigate for families. She only works with children under 22, but she helps families access resources. She helps them with their insurance. She knows a lot about working the disability system to help families out. And she also has a support group. And she does do webinars, and there again, the collaboration. If there's a state agency that won't help a family, she probably knows somebody somewhere who can get them their help. Here are her questions that she addresses. Health insurance. Everybody knows how fun that is, but she can help you find the right words to say to your insurance company so they can provide some equipment. A lot of parents can't even get new wheelchairs provided by their health insurance. So she's the person to call. She can help with all that. Family Support Network is a section of the ARC that I don't know a whole lot about yet. I know that they are meant to help families stay together. And so they help them through some barriers and get their support. They sometimes families face some complicated situations where they need to connect with different agencies to help their family. And they can call a Family Support Network and they help them navigate that system. And they help with this, the living options for an adult child with IDD, where puns would come in as well. You know, my daughter turned 18, so she's living at home, but there are a lot of her friends who want to live independently, so they can help with that. And the Liggis Family Advocate Program, I probably know less than the Family Support Network. I know they're amazing. This PUNS list, okay, I'm going to try to explain it in my plain language. There was a gentleman named Stanley Liggis, and he sued the state of Illinois. He was living in a state-operated developmental center, an SODC, or an institution. And he sued the state. The lawsuit argued that the state wasn't providing enough opportunities for him to live on his own in the community. And so the result of the lawsuit was this Liggis consent decree, which I'm sure you all could probably explain what a consent decree is better than I can. But my understanding is that it's a mandate that says that the state has to pay these people to keep them out of an institution if that's their choice. So the funding for that is called the PUNS list. And it used to be priority for urgency of need for service. They don't use that acronym anymore because they don't use urgency. What happens is you put your child on the list, and then once they're 18, they kind of get bumped up. There's about a 5-year wait, but once they are chosen for that funding, it's supposed to be for life. We all know that sometimes things get cut. So I hate to say that it's, nothing's a definite, right? So what happens with this PUNS list, the Liggis Family Advocate Program, if you get this letter from the state saying, hey, you're going to be chosen, they contact all of the families and they help them through the whole process, because it is a long 6 to 9 month process before you get money, actually. The next is the Family Transition Project. And I don't know the gentleman who runs this, Greg Walkington, but after talking to him, I'm so inspired by what he does. He's also a parent of a child with a disability. And he visits institutions and educates residents about their right to live independently and their options for community living. The state of Illinois is 44th in the nation as far as how much money we dump into community resources for disabilities. And we're 4th in the nation for how much money we provide for state institution funding. So he goes in these institutions and he talks to them and tells them, hey, you have options if they decide to do that. then he helps them move out. He also has these lovely mentors who share their communities. They're great advocates, and they speak about, they all used to live in an institution. And so they also help people who are moving out, which, oh, here we go. So if people want to know about living in a house with a few roommates, so there's that. There's a SILA, which is community integrated living arrangement that people can go to, and they are usually staffed 24 hours. And my parents made the decision. That happens less now than it used to, but there are people who are older who the parents did not really have a choice or felt like they didn't have a choice. So they help answer those questions and get them assistance. The next step in the ladder is Operation Welcome Home. So Greg and those advocates, they help people who do make that choice. They help them make that transition. They connect them with other families who've been through it. And they provide resources, because once they're out of that, things aren't being done for them all the time. They provide those resources for what they need. Assistive technology programs, the last program that I'm going to tell you about. I wish I could say that every disabled person in the state who needs it would qualify for this, but it's funded by donations as well. We have about a year waiting list, but it pays for technology. And there are some stipulations, but a person with an intellectual or developmental disability. So it can be for like an epilepsy monitor, or, just an iPad to help your autistic child calm down. So you have to be a member, an Illinois resident, that is, and then just apply. And there are other technology programs in the state if you guys ever get any questions about that. But unfortunately, they all have waiting lists. And so we provide this. Maybe somebody will come along and just pay for all of it. And here's a shot of our events page. We try to update that regularly. Like I said, we have webinars all of the time. So, if you ever even know somebody who is going through this process, you can share all that with them. And here's our section of the website. Again, it can be reached by the arcofil.org as well, but this kind of shows you our resource page. We also take requests and inquiries through the website, and we answer those pretty much the next day. And our social media, that's not exactly our strong suit, but we are on Twitter and Facebook and all that. Oh, yeah, I'm glad I had this slide. I almost forgot. So I know you guys are all over the state, but if down here in Madison County, we don't have a lot of people who speak different languages. But, up in Chicago, I get that quite a lot, where I have to help get a translator. And our website does all of that for us. It, anybody can search in their own language. And we also have a language line that we can call and get an interpreter right there on the phone that can help us talk to people. And that is about all I have. I'm gonna stop sharing here. Did that work?
So for those of you who have joined us today, feel free to jump on camera, ask questions, talk about your own libraries, resources and services, and how what you might be able to ask of the ARC, or if there are things that you would love for the ARC to be able to provide in the future, just giving them some ideas and feedback. Now is the time.
I would love if, and I haven't even asked my own library here in Troy, but I know every library is different about that, but I would love to have, flyers. We have flyers and all kinds of information we could bring up, just so if you guys don't remember, you'd be like, oh yeah, there is an organization you can call. And that's all provided free.
Vicki, there's a question in the chat from Karen.
Okay.
Are your webinars archived for replay at a later date?
Yes, they are. They are put on our Lifespan web page.
Vicki, you mentioned something about not doing things or having like flyers at your library. What types of services or programs could the ARC do for libraries?
We don't have specific programs for libraries. We just, you guys are actually the first library association I think we've spoken to. I'm so glad that you guys let me talk to you. But we do presentations to the general public. So let's say you guys had one close to where one of us outreach people are located. They would happily come into the library if you wanted to host a program for parents of kids with disabilities or something like that.
Okay.
I know my local library where I live, and this is in the Forest Park Library, just outside of Chicago. They started doing a, what do they call them? I'm forgetting the name, a kind of group partnership with the school district, so that they started like a group for parents whose kids have IEPs and
Yes.
504 programs, that they can get together and meet at the library and have like a place to like, it's like a networking group, talking, sharing resources, asking each other questions, just being an emotional and resource for each other. And then they do that at the library, so they can meet in a public space. It'd be interesting to have like someone come in and talk to those families as well.
Yeah,
And
that's the same. Yeah, that's what we're hoping to do here. That's why I asked.
Yeah, if you have somebody who is within driving distance from you, we would be happy to come in and talk. A lot of it depends on where our staff is and you know, if it's like 300 miles or something, it might not be possible. But yeah, we have staff all over the state, so
Yeah,
they
well,
would be
I
happy.
Affinity
saw
group, that's
Champaign
what it's called.
listed. I don't know if you have
Champaign.
somebody in Champaign.
We have
Um,
somebody in mid Illinois, so I would have to look that up. But yeah, it's certainly just shoot me an email
Okay.
or get on our website and we can sure check on it.
Yeah.
Oh, Zoom. You're right. You're right, Karen. We do offer, and that's how all of our webinars are hosted, is through Zoom. And we can do presentations to anybody. Yeah. Sensory issues. How can we get the flyers mentioned? Yeah, if you would like to, I can put my email in the chat. I can just mail you flyers, or have our office mail you flyers. As far as sensory issues, I would have to do some digging on that. There are a lot of different organizations that deal with autism and such, but I can't name anyone that specifies in sensory issues. But yeah, I can send me your email and I can do some digging for you. And I'll put my email in the chat. There we go. Webinars. Yeah.
I didn't really look at your website, Vicki. Is there a list of like resources? Like I'm always interested in like, what kind of books can I buy? You know, that,
Yeah.
for parents. So I don't know if that's on the website. I didn't look at the
We have
website that
so
closely.
much on there that I don't even know everything we have. I'm sure, and I'm happy to share my screen, but if you'd like me to get on our website, I can sure do that. But we can have, let me show you real quick. So we have, you can look under programs. So the Lifespan is the one that I showed you on that one slide. You can do, search by county, and there's fact sheets, etc. As far as specific books, there
Is it
might
under the
be.
information resources where you just were? Go back to resources.
Yeah, we could have specific books. I don't know about them, but I just found something on our website today I didn't know we had. It was I don't even know. It was for assistive technology. So yeah, there's media resources. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to ask and see if we do. Yeah, these are mostly online resources. So send me your email and I'm happy to dig into that too. Like I said, I don't know everything.
Okay.
I'm still learning. Occupational therapist.
Hi there. I've got a question for you. Can you hear
Yeah.
me okay?
Mhm.
All right. I'm a brand new director. I've been here about 6 weeks, so this is the first time testing this microphone out anyway. Thank you for doing this today. I'm learning a lot, but I guess I'm wondering if you could name like the top 3 things that we should do to get our patrons to know about your services. I would think one would be the flyers, so thank you for your email. 2, would we just be able to maybe link your main website
Of course.
on our own website? I'm just
I
trying to
don't
think
see a
how we
problem
would.
with that. I don't know how to do that on the technology side.
Yeah, I know how to add that in.
Okay.
I don't know that we have a specified location that would be easy to drop it in, but we could obviously promote it on social media too, but
That would be great.
we're
Let me-
trying to increase our followers at this point. We don't have a whole lot, so
Well, and parents don't know to ask for help at the library sometimes. They're just kind of
right.
overwhelmed. So yeah, that would be great if you could put us on your website. I don't know how to do the background of that, but I'm sure happy to check and let you
Okay.
know.
It's easy to do, Vicky.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We librarian people can do that.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I just need to give you permission then, right?
No, not even.
No.
We have a
Do it.
link on our website called community links.
Oh,
and
well
we
then do it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and we just not throw, but we put out, community links. We put out,
Oh yeah, that
you
would be
know,
great.
links of, places that, we believe are, or know that our patrons, would find useful.
That is perfect. That's what I need to do.
I think
Even if I just keep the pages the same and just have like a section on a page that already
Yeah.
exists, because I'm
Yeah.
trying not to make too much extra work for myself at this point.
yeah, that would be great. I think the biggest thing that you all could do for us is just to remember that we exist. Because like I said, if you're a parent and you've never heard of the ARC, how are you going to know to type in the ARC? You just don't. And that's where I was like, the ARC, what's that? And there are several ARCs in Illinois. 2 of them are service providers. So that's the big thing, is just the ARC of Illinois, because there's so much help out there. It's just, you got to find it.
And what's the number one way that you would tell a parent to get started with connecting to the ARC?
Well, personally, I would send an email because I'm an emailer, but they can also call the helpline. And we have this helpline. I can give it to you, and I should have it memorized. I'll actually put it in the chat. Excuse these little ticks. My computer's about ready to explode, I think. So we have oops, I'll put our website there too. Well, that did not do the link, did it? But I would start by making that phone call. Thank you. I didn't type it in right.
Hi, Viggy. This is Leslie.
Hey,
Hey, so I have a question for you. Do you have an idea about, because I know the work that you're doing is so can be so supportive, obviously, to parents and foundational. Do you, in their work to continue supporting their children going forward, do you have an idea of how many families you touch in a year? Because I would imagine
We
it's
do
only
keep
going to get bigger once you start talking to
track
librarians.
of that. We just got our fiscal year report, and I should have that memorized, but it was something like 10,000 people reached, or I should know that. But we do have to keep demographic information too, because we're funded by the DHS. And so we have to prove that we actually are helping people. So quite a few. I'll look that up if you want. I should have, like I said,
That's
she
okay.
emailed it to me.
No, I'm sure it's a big number. And really, now that you've found this group of folks to work with, you'll get busier. I don't know if that's what you want to hear or not, but you will.
I hope so. I just, like I said, I sound like a salesman, but number of hours, I'm looking. Now you've got me really needing. Oh, this is for, all right. Well, I will find that and I'll text you the answer, but we do reach thousands of people just through our different programs. Not all would be lifespan, but we average about 10 calls a day on the helpline, which is busy, pretty busy.
Is there something we can do to help you get more funding for services that you provide? Like you said, Illinois is 44th in
Mhm.
providing services funding in the community. Is there something we can do to help that?
Right, your legislators. That's the only thing we know how to do, even as employees of the ARC. We do have we had a lobbyist, and she's moved on to a different job, but there's so many bills are introduced to cut things, and people with disabilities don't know them, until they're already passed. And so there, if you sign up for ARC emails, like I said, it's another thing in your inbox, but it keeps you updated on advocacy, things that you can do. You can go to town halls. Next week, they're actually having a town hall. The Department of Developmental Disabilities filed to dismiss that Liggett consent decree. So that means that they won't be mandated to provide any of this funding. And this is like $3,000 a month for these kids. It helps them live independently. It helps them go to school. And so if that passes, then where will our money, if they're not mandated, are they going to do it? Hopefully, yeah, they'll still do it. But so there's a town hall next week about that. And so we send out emails. We're not allowed to get political, but write your people. And there are also witness slips if you ever if you see that there's a bill that has been proposed. And that's something I didn't know as a parent that I could do, but you fill out these witness slips and it lets your legislators know how you feel about a certain bill. Did I
Hi
lose you?
again. Is that, no, hi, it's me again. So this meeting that's next week related to attempts to remove that Liggett consent, is that available? Is the details on your website or on your social media? We could find that.
No, let me find that and share it. Again, I was afraid to put it on my Facebook because we have to very much be aware of not getting political, right? Coalition is who's hosting that. All right. Leslie, I'm not,
It's okay. I'm just,
am not
we can
doing
also find
anything.
that. We'll look for it if you tell us
Yeah,
who
here
it
we
is.
go. I'm copying this email because if even one of you sat in on that, like I said, a lot of you might understand it better than I do. It's kind of odd. So this is, it doesn't give you, let me find the Zoom. It did not give me the Zoom link. I thought must have copied that wrong. All right. All righty. Well, I can email it to you, Kristen, and if you wanted to share that out, I'm not finding the link to the
Absolutely.
town hall about it. Here we go. Okay. As soon as I said that. And then this also has a contact with a lady from the Going Home Coalition from the ARC. And she's very knowledgeable about all things like that. Too long to send. Okay. Sorry, it's taking me so long. All righty, there we go. Hopefully that will give you, those are fact sheets. Like I said, if I find another link that I have not sent in here, then I will. This also, I don't know that this part copied, but this is also an update on this gentleman, Stanley Liggis, who started it all. And that's a video about him. So because of him, more and more people are moving out of institutions. I would say as a librarian, if you are interested in knowing more about the disabilities community, sign up for not just our monthly newsletter, but once I started signing up for a few, I started getting, a dozen. And now I get updates from the Department of Developmental Disabilities themselves. And there's an Illinois policy making. And so once you start getting in touch with different disability organizations, then they all find you, right? And it is nice because then you can keep track of legislation that's being proposed in our state. We also have a Rev Up program that trying to get people with disabilities registered to vote. So I don't know if any of your libraries do anything with registering to vote, but I'm happy to send you flyers on the Rev Up program.
So Vicki, we do have, as Small and Rural Libraries Forum, my apologies to my video one. We have a Google group and we have a Facebook page that, our Facebook group that others can join. And if you have information about meetings like this or ways to advocate, you want to make sure and update the library community, this is a really great group to do that with. There's 90 to 100 members or so from small and rural libraries all over the state of Illinois. And
Oh.
many of our friends in the system and at Rails and at Heartland, like Leslie, are parts of that group or have staff that are part of that, can also be aware of when legislative priorities come up that librarians could use that help, because we're fairly familiar with how to fill out a good witness slip as well.
Yeah, I bet you are. I I forget about the controversies that librarians face occasionally. Yeah,
We
so,
understand that about budgeting and access and, always having to fight for resources as well, so.
yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for letting me speak to you. Just remember our name. That's all you have to do. And then you can pass anybody off to us. So, and if you guys would like more information, please email me. I probably won't know the answer, or I would have answered you today, but I can get with my colleagues, and they're pretty amazing. They know so much more than I do.
I always say that about librarians. We don't know all the answers, but we know how to find the answers.
Exactly.
Does anybody else have any last minute questions for Vicky about the ARC or about services? All right, well, thank you everybody for joining us for this. This is our first one of the year. We have 3 more meetups scheduled. I'm sorry, 2 we have scheduled. 1 I just got the date for, and I will be updating the webpage. In fact, let me get that for you really quick. The next one coming up is on Illinois ordinances. So if you know that we recently got some new ordinances, if you have questions about things like that, come to our next Small and Rural Libraries Forum meetup. And that is August 29th, I believe, with Alex Todd at the Mount Prospect Public Library District. So yeah, that's August 29th at 2 o'clock. On that website are all of the registration links, and then I'll send out a reminder. So please join us for future meetups, as well as come to any of our forum meetings if you're interested in finding out about how we do the different things that we do. Everyone is welcome to attend. You do not have to be an Illinois Library Association member to attend any of our meetings. The only thing you need to be a member for is if you are a leader of the forum. So thank you, Vicky, for joining
Thank
us
you for
today.
having me. All right, have a good one.
Enjoy,
I will
everyone.
send that email to this email address that you put in here. I
Oh,
will
great.
direct email with everything on it, and I'll
Okay.
forward it. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.